discuss, dissect, disagree on topical conversations affecting us in our societies. And yeah, we get to have these discussions with amazing ladies who get to join us. We look into the discussion, we unwrap the issues, we look at them also from different perspectives and discuss all about them. What's even more beautiful is that we get to learn a lot from having these discussions right here on Panorama. And I'm glad that you are right here with us. I'm talking about you, our Panorama family members. My name is Miracle Phillip, and it's a morning to be great, to be happy about, because it's right now 10 minutes after 9 and our ladies are already here. So we say it's a full house. And I will go around the table as always. Good morning, Buki Femi Ajala. Glad to have you right here with us.
Same here. Good morning. Morning, Panorama family. Good morning. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. God has been good to us. Yes. And at least for Lagos State. We bless God, in terms of the protest now, we didn't record loss of property, lives like, we from other states. And we look to the brighter side of things, as we go into another week. So once again, I want to say good morning, Ivy, good morning, and Panorama family, once again, good morning, and WFM family, I won't forget you this time around. Morning.
All right, so you heard the voice of Buki Femi Ajala. Up next now, it is Ibinabo Dixon. Good morning, Ibinabo. Glad to have you.
Good morning. Morning, Miracle Philip. It's good to hear you. Good morning, Buki Femi Ajala. Good morning to all our valued listeners. It's good to be here. Thank you.
Thank you also for joining and always being a voice right here on Panorama. Well, as our Panorama family members, you get to also be a part of the discussion. All you need to do is reach us via our various phone lines. We've got 07000 917 You can also reach us via our toll free line. That's 0800 1235 917. That is strictly for women. And we have our SMS and WhatsApp line 0703 175 6537. Okay, so we'll take a look at this right now. Different headlines, and I mean, not headlines per se, but stories that we're going to be looking at this morning, bordering on first, getting a job in Nigeria. Is it a matter of connection or is it based on merit? I'll look at this very first one because someone actually dropped it was a conversation on X, and we know how conversation of X on X actually go. There'll be that thread, lots of people reacting to a person's comment, and this person said, guy, oil companies entry level salary is over 700k monthly. And another person replied saying, connection to get the job is the real problem. Then this lady comes in and says, we need to stop this mentality. I had 3 full-time oil and gas jobs before leaving Nigeria. Amni, General Electric, and Seplat. None were gotten through connection. If you know your stuff, you will get the job. And then right after that, she continued the thread saying, if not for Canada, I would have also done mobile and total GT exams. And I know I would have gotten it too. I also have friends that got into these same oil companies and NNPC purely on merit. We need to stop thinking everything is based on connection. Maybe 20% of people get it based on that, but I can assure you that if you're sound, aptitude test plus can do interview very well, the sky is just the beginning, all of which requires practice and practice. And then this lady comes in with her own comment based on her own experience. She says, this is so insincere. I had a first class from the Nigerian law school, which is no mean feat. Yet, I submitted my CV to so many organizations and didn't get a single interview. If it was different for you, that's amazing. But let us not refer to a common experience as a mentality. It's a different thing. If I got rejection too, not a single response. Some of these things boil down to maybe the arrangement of your CV and connection. It is hardly ever a question of not knowing your stuff. especially an industry that is saturated. Let's not be insincere. The labor market is extremely tough right now. Let us not invalidate the experience of so many people. Finding a job is influenced by so many more unpredictable and unclear factors than not knowing one's stuff. And then lots of people have been talking, sharing their own experiences as well about how they actually think that it might be true, or it is actually a mainstay, that getting a job in Nigeria is based on connection or some level of influence. And of course, some other people saying, well, it might just be based on your luck and your destiny, and maybe based on how much your prayers are put in. But we'll not also leave out the fact that when the conversation about getting jobs and about being connected to high profile institutions and organizations and people is concerned, people still look at it to say, when people are sharing their stories online, you have to sieve it and not just take it at first. Oh, someone could be sharing, I got a job here, but it could be that their parents put in word. It could be that they've had one high profile person who is really more like a benefit factor that's helping them. The average Nigerian that is out of school with no connections would have to do 10 times more to have those same opportunities. But as we open this conversation now, Ibinabo, I'd like to know exactly what you think about this. Do you align with the woman who said we have to rid ourselves of the mentality that getting jobs in Nigeria is first based on connection? Ibinabo.
Okay, thank you very much, Miracle. Before I go on, let me quickly uh, tell you about a video I saw. The video was a clips from a particular old comedy program from the US between a teacher and a pupil. It's a little boy, he should be about 10. So she was trying to advise him that, hey, I hope you are studying. I hope you are getting yourself prepared. You have to be an excellent student to make it in life, this and that. And the young boy said, no, no, no. My brother had a different opinion as regards, having a greater future or getting a good job. And the woman said, what was your brother's opinion? And the young boy said, my brother said, you don't need to have all of the qualifications to make it in life. All you need to have is connection to know people. So why did I have to narrate that? That goes to tell us that whatever it is we think is going on here is happening in other places. Just that the percentage may not be as big as it is in Nigeria, but it is happening everywhere. Having said all of that, there are different set of people as it pertains to getting a job. If you know your stuff, you get a job. That was what one of the comments I got on the on the X. But for me, my question is it possible to get a job to get a job in some of these companies? Yes, to an extent. I'm getting it on merit. I will say yes, fairly, because some people are not able to. And the question is, one, are you qualified to even apply for a job in such a company? Because the competition is very stiff. Because there are more job seekers than there are available these jobs, especially when you are focused on certain big companies. Now, you want to get into, let's say, an oil company, it's like that's the major companies attracting the attention of job seekers. If you look at your CV, even your course of study probably does not even have much bearing with these companies. So if you want to apply for a job there, it has to be maybe like in an oil company, maybe you graduated with whether first class or second upper or whatever. Your course has a bearing with what is being done in that company. You can't study, let's say, English, and you're looking for a job in an oil company. The business of an oil company is oil, whether it is edible oil or petroleum byproducts. So sometimes we look for jobs not because we feel that we are qualified, but because the pay is very attractive. Some other times, some people are very selective in their job hunting. They want this particular company, they want this particular organization, and they keep going to these places. They are not spreading their tentacles well. They're not planting everywhere. They are very selective. So if you're selective, as it pertains to the job you are looking for, you're not the only one in that bracket. Some other people too are looking for jobs in that particular place. And of course, plays a huge role here. Everywhere in the world is not certified. I mean, there are people who after their graduation, they have gone for other certificate courses just to enhance their CV. So if you haven't done that, and you just maybe you went job hunting in a company and you run into one of your old students, and you both apply for the job. At least your old student got the job, and probably you came out with first class, person came out with second upper, and you're like, how come they gave a second upper the job and they didn't give me first class? Have you bothered to find out what other ingredients this person added to this meal to make it more palatable, to make it more nutritious? So, and also another problem we have is our university academic curriculum. They are quite outdated. They need to be restructured. The curriculum to fit into today's requirements is not what we have in our universities. So we need the curriculum that will fit into today's requirement, and also they should make it compulsory for every student in the university or in the polytechnics to have a vocational training of their choice, so that when they are out of university, if they are yet, and this vocational training should be different than the course, their major course, so that if you cannot even get a job yet with a certificate, you already have a vocation. You have a vocation that you have been trained upon, so you can engage in such a vocation in the interim while you are job hunting. But the problem we have is that most of our graduates, all they have is a certificate. And then there are companies who will tell you have to have so much experience, so number of experience, number of years rather of experience. A person who is here to get a job, where will this person gather experience from? And then again, going to our government, we are in a country that is a consuming country. We are not importing most of the things that we consume, and we're not really exporting. The only major thing we're exporting by the government, I mean, is our petroleum. Every other thing, no attention is being paid. So government has not been deliberate about also tightening, our institutions to avert privilege and embezzlement. So there are so many things. Embezzlement brought us here. The economy is very bad. Companies are leaving Nigeria in 10s and 20s. So who are those to give us the job? And also we have I mean, if you look at it, if we have companies in Nigeria and they have very favorable environment to operate, the Nigerian's local content is very fair, 50%. But Who do you discuss local content with when they are all living? And there are some there's a particular extraction of foreigners that are there are so many in Nigeria. I don't want to mention the country or the country. There are so many in Nigeria, and they are the ones that have most of the foreign companies in Nigeria, and they have a lot of their citizens in Nigeria. So that goes to show that those key positions that would have been given to Nigerians have been occupied by their people, and all they made available for Nigerians are the junior workers position or the laborers position, which graduates cannot fit into, except you want to go there as a school start with your first school leaving, I mean, your wife certificate. So the problem is hydra-headed. Government has its own role to play. The environment is not enabling for companies to thrive because of insecurity and other policies that are not friendly. The universities must upgrade and update their curriculum, their academic curriculum, so that when a student graduates, that student is seasoned already, and arm them with a particular vocation of their choice, so that they will have something to fall back on while they are job hunting. So there's so many reasons. So many reasons the economy is not smiling at all. So the windows of employment are not open. That is why probably who you know will play a role here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibinabo, for your take this morning. There were lots of issues that you opened up on this conversation, and I know that there are plenty people out there who would say, "Well, Miracle, I've been in situations where I know my stuff, I know my onion." But I've not gotten a job for so many years. I've put all the certificates, I've gone the extra mile. At some point, I feel like, this job hunting of a thing is really not for me. And in a time as this, when you realize that people need a source of livelihood, people need a source of livelihood so that they can go about their daily activities. I'm even thinking, really, I think that we need to have even more of these conversations to like undergraduates on how they can prepare better for life after the university, and how they can be more armed to the realities on ground. But I'll shift this discourse now to Buki. I know you've worked for quite some time. What has been your experience so far? Maybe you've had people who have actually also recruited employees. Has the case been a case of a connection thing? You also have you had times where you got a job based on merit?
Okay, so there are many questions you've asked, but I'll try and wrap up. Right now, we're looking at Nigeria. The much I know as somebody who had worked, somebody who is still running with our own business, and of course the experiences of the others. There are two ways of you getting a job. Let's face the brutal fact. One is by connection, and the other is by merit. So either by connection or by merit, it depends on the organization. Multinationals and those that you call well-structured business, they already have their system. And when they want to recruit, they send in their requests, through their channels. Now they're all on social media and all that. But you see, if you are not connected to that information, either somebody hints you or you follow them, or or you know that, one advert is out, you will miss out. That's the truth. And that's why I always tell younger ones that you need to follow your the organization that you love to work with. You need to follow them. You need to have what we call social capital, so that once there is an information, you can actually grab it. Right. Then on the issue of connection, I mean, there are some people by connection, and you see, when I talk about connection, I'm talking about connection from the angle of, they are opening the job portal, put in your CV, at least ensure you have the required skills and competencies and things like that. I can always put a word for you. That is the kind of connection that I am talking of. But we also have another type of connection. Either you know it or you don't know it, whatever it is, because it's one Mr. Labaga that brought it, is one this one that brought it, they try to overlook all these things and say, oh yeah, okay, just bring your CV, go back to your people, we understand. That kind of connection exists in Nigeria, let's face it, particularly in the public sector, and also in some one-man business, small scale enterprises and things like that. Yeah, so these things actually happen. But this is what I have to say. Where we are in Nigeria, yes, I know some organizations that they're not even bothered about your certificate, particularly in the telecoms, in the IT sector. It's about your skills, what you can do. Yes, have those skills, but that certificate matters. You might say it does not matter now, but somewhere along the line, when you begin to climb, the ladder, when you begin to climb, your career, there are things that they will now begin to look at. What are the certificates you've had? Do you have an MBA, or are you specialized in this? You understand? And then even for someone, if you have the opportunity of getting to do your master's or even your PhD, you never know. Somewhere along the line, you can cross to the lecturing side. Now, even for any lecturer now, they tell you must have a PhD. You could actually cross, at some point in your career when you are tired of doing whatever, you say, okay, you know what, I want to give back. But if you don't have that, you are shut out. You understand? So, but what I always tell people now is that have your degrees and have your skills, particularly as we are moving into the AI world. You must have your skills. There are many, many courses, because we will get to a point where the issue is, what can you do with AI? What can you do with technology? It has come to that. So you must begin to have those skills. And right now, if you even look at what the World Economic Forum, came up with in terms of jobs in the 21st century, you will be shocked with the kind of classifications. You won't see bank teller, you won't see bank clerk, you won't see operator, all those funny things. It is now changing. You will see content creator manager. You will see AI database manager. All kinds of funny things are coming in, and that is the future. That is the future. And then, of course, one of the things that also happen, particularly AI, to sift CVs. They put in keywords. So when you put in your CV, it's those keywords that they use to bring out your CVs. Now, so these are the ones that go with merit, So they put those keywords, and some of them actually, it's not really about your certificate, but what you have been able to do, what impact you have done, your leadership skills. You understand? Depending on the role, if it's a role for customer service officer, and you are going to be leading a team of 3 or 4, they want to know, have you been a leader of a team before? while you are in school, and what did you achieve? So they would fix in some keywords in there. I remember a young lady that I introduced. I mean, it was just an information that I got from a friend. I mentioned the name of the bank. I was following up with the lady. Oh, she said, oh, they did an aptitude test, and then they now did a personality test, something, something, something. I can't remember what it is, but I understand what they were trying to do. So, do you know what they were trying to? I don't know the name of the test, but I know what the test is all about. They were trying to see if your personality fits this role. This is aside, from the CV. So later on, she was not selected. So I found out from my friend that, oh, they are actually looking for customer service officers. And if you know the skills and personalities of an accountant, it's different from a customer service officer. I don't want to delve into that, but that's the truth about it. So all these things really matter. So it's an issue of one, follow now on social media, they post these things, particularly the well structured ones. They post it, right? And it's also good for you to have your social capital, and then also for you to also build up yourself. What would they be looking out for? What are the skills and competencies that I have? You must have those extra ones apart from your CV. But I also know that there are some organizations that they will tell you that it's first class they want. But apart from first class, they also want all these things. Yeah. And then, of course, there's something else that I also want to tell our youth now: voluntary jobs. People will say, oh, I cannot volunteer. So you want me to work for you and not get paid. Hey, you are making a great mistake, because when you volunteer, you are building up your profile, you are building up your CV. In advanced countries, it's a big deal, because they want to know what you have done with your time. So those are things that I think we need to do. So in wrapping up, I know you can get it through information, and also the other side of the connection that I want to talk about, and I'll use that to wrap up. Let us face the brutal fact. Somebody must be speaking up for you. Somebody must be speaking up for you. Even when you enter the organization, somebody must be speaking up for you. Somebody must be able to push you. And you see, it depends on how you carry yourself, how you go about your job, right? All your leadership competency. You find out that some mentors will say, oh, a tax or to fill a project, because somebody is there who will speak to you. So I'm not become a servant to that person and be worshiping like we do in Nigeria. No, but in terms of what you bring on the table, they know that when you're there, you will solve, you will deliver, and they will always push you forward. So that's all I need to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Buki, for your take this morning. I'm going to be taking some calls because I know people would want to react to this conversation. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, please do well to call us back. The phone line's 07000 or you can reach us via our toll free line if you are a woman, or 800-123-5917, or drop an SMS or a WhatsApp message to 0703-175-6537. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, seems like I'm not able to hear the call so right now, but you can do well to call us back. 07000 Our toll free line is 0800-123-5917. That is for women, and then you can reach us via our SMS line 0703-175-6537. I like that we had this discussion, and I like that I opened it up first because I know it speaks to a lot of Nigerian youths, and people would be able to get the needed clarity, just as Buki and Ibn Abor have laid the foundation for the discuss. Now I'll switch my side to another conversation which we'll be having at this time. Right now it is it is one that must be had. Yes, it talks about sexual harassment. I've had different discuss, with colleagues, with friends, family about this sexual harassment thingy, which is prevalent in our society. But worse still is when it infiltrates or is in our workspaces. I read a couple of messages weeks ago about a particular sexual harassment incident, and these things are continuing to go on in spite of the fact that there are rules and regulations out there. People should be aware that you shouldn't be harassing a person. And in this case, when a woman is affected, here in Women Radio, we actually have something put out there to say, if you are being harassed one way or the other, come out and talk. Oh. So it's a no zone for sexual harassment. But this post actually reads from a social media user, said, my mom has been working for the Armed Forces Specialist Hospital in Kano State for more than 20 years as a temporal registered nurse and midwife. She has done everything she can to get a permanent job, and says, my mom just received her sack letter today after 21 years of working and hoping that the employment would be promoted into a permanent one. She has been sacked because she does not want to sleep with the commandant. Because she does not want to sleep with the commandant. Now, first off, I want you to react to this conversation, Ibinabo. How many organizations make their spaces a safe place for women to work?
Thank you very much, Miracle. When I read the story, a lot of thoughts, were running all here and there in my head. The first thing I thought about was, why did she have to? She knew from the onset that there was someone who wanted to sexually abuse her, who had been sexually harassing her. And why did she have to take that for the number of years? Because you look at the nature of the of the job she had. And we all know, without mincing words, without deceiving ourselves, that that kind of a job and the people involved are very high-handed. In as much as I'm not validating what the alleged perpetrator of the act did, but there are times we should learn to run away from places. If I was in her shoes, sorry, I'll be looking for a job elsewhere. Sometimes you look at your profession, nurse. There's a profession you will have that probably you may not be getting what you feel your worth in terms of your pay packet, but job, and you can get your peace of mind. It is wrong for you to stay in an unfavorable environment, all in the name of hoping the person will change or hoping that something with a miracle will happen. You don't waste your time in organizations where you know that your future is not secured. Because the person that was alleged to have been sexually harassing her, making sexual demands and all of that from her, is a military man. And we all know how high-handed these people are. I want to face reality here. She should have moved from that organization to a different one. She's a nurse. She can fit into any medical department or organization. Sometimes we hope and hope and hope, but time does not wait for anyone. And I also hope that she has enough evidence to call this man out and seek for justice. I hope so. I hope she has been able to gather enough evidence to dock this man. There are people out there, they are in different organizations, they are going through this, they don't know what to do, If you feel that this is too much for you to handle, leave that place. Because if you don't leave now, tomorrow they will remove you like you never existed. And they will remove you without any benefits. This is very wrong. This is very unfortunate. And these are the things that women face in various, organizations, whether it is a multinational, whether it is a private organization, whether it is even in the civil service. Women are being, some people have turned women, they are objectifying women. They see them as an object that they can turn and toss. So people should be informed. We are going through that. There should be places you can go, make a report of it, and these places, not necessarily a police station, because that is another level. We have places where you can go and lay your complaints, and then they can advise you on what to do or on how to gather information so that this person will be brought to book. But if you keep hoping and wishing this person will just leave you and allow you to breathe,
right,
it never happen. It may never. And unfortunately, we can't deny the fact that there is sexual harassment in many places, whether with the federal government, state, local, private, military, everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibinabo Dixon, for your take this morning. There's something you said about the fact that probably she would have left that job, and sought another one. You most likely have to prioritize your peace of mind. But then, Buki, I want to bring this to you. If we take it like this, there would be women who'd say, well, there are so many jobs I've applied for, and every time I'm there, it's as if I'm a sexual object. It's as if I'm always on the attack. I'm always getting advances from my head, and sometimes I can't even report these things because who do I turn to? If I turn to this person, it's almost like they are unsafe. How do they go about life really, Buki?
So are we assuming that such people are so beautiful and so friendly
Okay.
and when we see them, the next thing that we see is, hey, how do I get this to bed? But why won't I have this on my table, to contribute to the problems, to contribute to the solution to the problems I have? That means this lady has brains. I think I need her, to sit on the table with me. Anyway, that's just by the way. Yeah, there are cases like that you would, when they talk, you find out that, okay, anywhere they are, people always want to, have their way, probably because of the endowment they have in their body, and probably their disposition to life and all that, and maybe the perception, there's a difference between perception and reality. So maybe the perceived mind, that they exhibit to the people that, you can actually be, a candidate for this. So let me put this forward. But bottom line is, what do you want for your life? If you find out that is the situation that you always find yourself, you probably want to sit back and find out, what is it exactly about me that I need to change? Is it the way I talk? Is it the way I network? Is it the way I dress? Let's be brutal about this. You have to sit down and really, really think through it. And with the help of God, I know that the generation of now do not want to hear about God, but hey, there's nothing you want to do. You need God in everything. You need to sit with God and pray about it, and your eyes will be opened. That, it is the way you are too friendly. You cross the bar. You are the one that is always asking, oh God, do you want tea? Oh God, do you want me to go and buy you food? Oh God, something will tell me what to do, you understand? and that's it just for me. That's a little bit I can do that I can say concerning it. It's not a one shoe, one size fits all. So these are when you have to take it on one-on-one case, like that. Yeah. So I think I've done justice to that. There was another question you actually asked me. I've forgotten that. If you can remind me, what exactly? That's another question you asked me.
How exactly can these ones feel safe in the organizations as
Oh
well?
yes. That reminds me. For this lady, I'll start with this lady in question. It's possible. I am assuming that she had good relationships with the commandant. So maybe this particular commandant she's talking of is the present one, because I know that in the military you can't be a commandant for 21 years. It's not possible. They will have changed you at least maybe three times or something. So I am guessing that it's this one that is there. And if she has fine, she has spoken, and I expect the Oga Patapata in Kano, is it Kano, you to investigate. And if it is true, then they have to do what is right. Right? They have to do what is right. Bring her back, you understand? And also ensure that that man apologizes. And of course, that man should face disciplinary measures, because now you have jeopardized somebody's life, at least temporarily. It's not permanent, temporarily. I hope she gets out of it temporarily because of your own selfish nature. Right. So if she has evidences, text messages, and things like that, fantastic. And I hope that now that she has spoken, the organ that is supposed to treat it is not somebody like that, that also does that. Because if you are in the same gang, you won't do anything. You will step it down. You will step it down. So what can people do in such instances? Number one, I don't apologize concerning this. You need God in this matter. God will have to fight for you. Then secondly, have your evidences. Document them. Then three, sit back and understand how the system works. Who is the best person that you can complain to and will take it? You need to sit back and think through it. They might have that policy in the organization that report and all that. Maybe the person who is even going to read the report also does the same thing. So what justice do you want? So you need to look back and say, okay, who is that person, or what system or what strategy will I need to do? And meanwhile, while you are also doing this, please, this is one-on-one. Try and begin to look for another job. But I know there are times somebody will say, you are saying I should look for another job. Where are the jobs? Yeah, I totally agree with you. There are some times that you won't even get it. So you have to stick there because you want, to put food on your table. Possibly, maybe you don't even have a husband and you're a single mother. You understand? So you now need to know how to manage yourself. And at times, it is also good to speak up. I'm telling you, it's also good to speak up and let people know that this is what you stand. And because of that, you will not sack me because of that. You can even put it in writing to the person, and put evidences there. You understand? When that person sees it, it could shake him a bit that, and then you say, look, I have ceased the HR. But all these things, you have to be calculative about it. And like I said, you need God in this matter.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Buki, for your take on this discussion. And I'm sure that a lot of people have been able to pick, the points that you raised here. Ipinabo, you want to say something just as we wrap up, please, in 1 minute.
Okay. I at a point, what I wanted to say, Buki made mention.
Okay.
What I'm going to add to all of that is, see, in life, some choices were not, sometimes our choices take on a life of their own. So once you have made your choice to work in a certain place, And this choice has taken up its own life in the sense that now somebody is making this job uninteresting, is putting this job under threat and all of that. You should begin to act smart. If you are going to fight back, begin to gather evidence without this person knowing. Because if you don't, more so the military, not all of them, some of them are very fantastic people, but there are some of them that are very, very high-handed. So male and female working together, they should have regular programs to talk to the members of staff, teach them on how to have good relationship with fellow staffs, like male-female interaction and relationship. So there are times that when such programs come up, sometimes it will be an opportunity to, to ask questions, and indirectly you're trying to talk about your own problem. So from there you can even get an advice on what to do about what you're going through. But a lot of times, organizations, companies, private and public, they are always about profit and profit. Nobody's even thinking out of the box that gathering women and men together, what other things are happening apart from people getting their jobs done. So these are areas I think we should look into. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Ibinabo Dixon. And thank you so much, Buki, for joining in on the conversation. Our time is fast spent. Thank you so much for always being here with us on Panorama. All right. And also a special thanks to you, our Panorama family, for being a part of our discussions all the way from Mondays through to Fridays. We'll be back next week and there'll be much more discussions that we'll be delving into, so many that we need to seek perspective and also clarity on. I am Miracle Philip. It's a pleasure being here with you. Up next is Radio Doctor. Good morning.
To sponsor this program, call the number 0816 480 7613.
Hello, woman. Ready to transform your life? Join us at the Up You Women Conference 2.0 on August 31st, 2024 at